on campus this summer, I decided that I wanted to learn a little bit more about farmers markets because as soon as I got here, they seem to be one of the most prevalent things going on in the city. And so as I started looking into them, I was talking to people and trying to go to as many farmers markets as I could, and I came to the conclusion that farmers markets build healthy lifestyles in every sense of the word. And I came up with 5 reasons why that is, and I'm going to go through those reasons in this video so that hopefully other people can see that in farmers markets too and choose to attend them and to meet some of the coolest people that you'll ever meet. So, reason number 1 is that farmers markets build incredible communities. And that's not only community between the farmer and the community member, it's also introducing neighbors, introducing people who live a few blocks away from each other and never knew each other, but the farmers market gives them an excuse to meet each other or just to hang out. So a great example of this is the program which I'm currently participating in meets every Saturday at the farmers market, and it's just one of my favorite memories from this summer. People essentially get their produce, they get omelets, they get whatever they want, and then we all kind of sit down and eat together. And it's just a great environment to talk, to catch up, to meet new people. And I've really appreciated that, especially as a newcomer in this city. But another example of this is also I was filming at the farmers market for one of my internships, and I ran into a woman who runs a local radio show about food. And we started talking, and it turns out that she wanted me to come onto the radio show and do an interview with Justin Mogg at U of L. So that's just another way that farmers markets really help to build community. And then beyond that, something that's psychologically proven is that talking with other people, interacting with other people, makes humans happier. And that's only to a certain extent, of course, but farmers markets are a great place to do that. You can't buy your food without interacting with the farmer who grew it. So to me, that's one of the biggest reasons that farmers markets encourage a healthy lifestyle. But also connecting to that community aspect is my second reason, which is that farmers markets bring together people of all different socioeconomic classes. And not all farmers markets in Louisville offer this, but many of the farmers markets accept food stamps or EBT cards and senior vouchers, which allows people who are on food stamps or who are past a certain age and under a certain salary to buy fresh produce with the money provided to them from the government. And that means that there are people attending these farmers markets from all different socioeconomic backgrounds, and you would never know at the time. So it's a great way for people to interact who wouldn't necessarily be interacting with each other. So that brings me to my third reason, which is still connecting back to stronger communities, more on the business side of community, but I believe that farmers markets are a great place for casual networking. So one good example of this casual networking is the example that I mentioned before about the host of the local food radio show who I met at the farmers market. But I also have another good example, which is that one of my supervisors, Brian Barnes, who works with the composting initiative at the Belknap campus, and another one of my supervisors, Melissa Schreck, who works at the School of Public Health and Information Sciences, met each other through a farmers market. So these examples make it pretty clear that farmers markets aren't just good for social communication, but also for business communication. And farmers markets themselves can also work together. The Gray Street Farmers Market downtown started around 5 years ago, and now the Belknap Market, which is on the undergraduate campus, just opened this year with a lot of help from the Gray Street Market, and they're helping each other learn. So that's another way that farmers markets help to build community. And then, of course, separate from community, one of the great things about the food that you're going to get at farmers markets is that it's more nutritious and it's tastier. Because when you're buying from a farmer who doesn't use pesticides, who doesn't use artificial fertilizer, you're getting a much higher quality food that's in season, that hasn't necessarily been bred to look like a huge red apple like you might find at the grocery store, but is one of the tastiest things that you'll ever find. So that's a lot better for your body, and it's a lot tastier. So that's a healthy lifestyle in terms of nutrition rather than social interactions. So my last reason is that buying from farmers markets supports the local food economy. When you buy that zucchini from the farmer at the market, you know that your money is going to support that farmer. When you buy something from the grocery store, you don't know exactly where that money is going. It's going back to the corporation where that food came from, and that's very widespread. It could be supporting things that you don't necessarily agree with. So by supporting the local food economy, you are supporting your own community, strengthening Louisville essentially. And also, by getting to know the farmer, you can possibly go out and help and see how the process is completed, from planting to harvesting to bringing it to the market. I know I was more interested in this and talked to Janine Wishy, who works at Swallow Rail Farm in Simpsonville, and I went out to her farm with a couple of the other interns in my program, and we spent the whole day helping out. She took us on a tour of her farm. We did some cleaning. We picked blueberries. We did a lot of really fun things, and it was a great way for me to understand more about our food and where it comes from, about the local food economy, and to get to know a farmer, because we all have to eat food and someone has to grow it. So it makes the most sense to me that we should know about where our food comes from and how it gets to us. So those are the 5 reasons that I found that farmers markets support an all-around healthy lifestyle, in all senses of the word healthy, as I think you would probably gather from this video. So if you haven't checked out the farmers markets in Louisville, there are so many of them. You can find a link to all the farmers markets on our website, and I would really encourage you to go and just chat with a farmer, just buy some eggs. You'll really enjoy the experience.